Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of News Where's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. Let's get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are rising higher this morning, with S&P futures up 0.13%, Dow futures up 0.13%, and NASDAQ futures up 0.14%. Markets are seeing positive momentum this morning, with global equities set for the biggest three-day rally since April, as optimism surrounding earnings continues to overshadow concerns about growth hiccups and coronavirus flare-ups. Earnings reports are looking predominantly favorable, with about 86% of the S&P 500 firms that have reported so far having beaten analysts' predictions. The dollar has remained steady, and the 10-year treasury yields have erased declines, now hovering close to 1.3%. Elsewhere in markets, crude oil advanced as investors weighed signs of continued demand for oil products such as gasoline against disruptions triggered by the Delta variant. Additionally, China has been working to cool prices by supplying crude from its strategic reserves to local refiners. Over in Europe, the Stock 600 index turned positive for the week within 3 days after Monday's sell-off. 19 out of 20 industry sectors are in the green, with travel and leisure shares leading gains. Over in Asia, the MSCI gauge of Asia-Pacific shares rose for a second day, headed by cyclical sectors like materials and energy. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Shane, I'm cautiously positive today. The S&Ps are up. That's nice. We've got a lot of good reports. There's still a lot of good earnings reports to come in, so that's really nice. The market has really resumed its month-long rally. That's a big positive. It has erased most of the losses from that sharp drop that we saw on Monday. You look at this morning and what do we see? There's a lot of economic data coming out that's going to provide fresh insights into the labor market's recovery and the pace of home sales and the red hot, housing market that we have going on here. Earnings results, as we said, they've continued to be strong. Guidance is showing that the Delta variant isn't really impacting the recovery. We got a lot of good stocks to watch today for earnings. So I am positive, and I'm focusing my attention on the earnings that are upcoming.
Well, let's move into earnings. Lots to talk about. Bill, why don't you tell us about it?
Well, let's start with Discover Financial, which is ticker DFS, David Frank Sam. These guys beat by $1.80. You see the stock is trading higher this morning. Whirlpool, that's ticker WHR, they beat by 71 cents on higher revenue, plus they raised guidance. Obviously, the stock's trading higher. Graco, that's ticker GGG, Grace, they beat by 3 cents on higher revenue.
Hey, Bill, you cut out for a second. Can you repeat the last one? You cut out.
Then we have Graco, which is ticker symbol GGG, Grace. They beat by 3 cents on higher revenue. Stock's trading off, though, this morning. Netgear, ticker NTGR, they missed by 5 cents on lower revenue, and not surprising, the stock is down 15% this morning. Las Vegas Sands, that's ticker LVS, Larry Victor Sam, they missed by 16 cents on higher revenue, and that stock's down 3% this morning. Abbott Labs, that's ticker ABT, Apple Boy Tom, they beat by 15 cents on higher revenue. Stocks marginally changed this morning, a little higher. Biogen, that's ticker BIIB, Boy India Boy, they beat by $1.13 when they reported. You look at Biogen, stocks trading up 0.63 cents this morning. Southwest Airlines, that's ticker LUV, Larry Uncle Victor, they missed by 3 cents on higher revenue. Stock's down 2.5% this morning. Domino's Pizza, that's ticker DPZ, David Paul Zebra, they beat by 26 cents on higher revenue, and you're seeing the stock up 1.41% this morning. Quest Diagnostics, ticker DGX, David Grace X-Ray, they beat by 32 cents on higher revenue. There's no volume there than the pre-market. Crocs, it's ticker CROX, the shoemaker, Charlie Richard Oscar X-Ray, they beat by 71 cents on higher revenue. You see that stock is up 8.77% this morning. And let's round this off by Alaska Airlines, that's ticker ALK. Alaska Air beat by 43 cents. They did it on higher revenue, but the stock is down, 0.16% this morning. So we'll have to see if that can turn around on shares of Alaska Airlines, ticker ALK.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
There's some good ones this afternoon and tomorrow. We're looking, this afternoon, it starts off with Intel. That's ticker INTC, India Nancy Tom Charlie. Their EPS estimate is $1.06. Expected move there is 5.8%. Snap, that's ticker SNAP, Sam Nancy Apple Paul. EPS estimate is for them to lose 1 cent. The expected move here is 11%. You have Twitter, ticker TWTR. Earnings estimate is 7 cents. Expected move here is 10%. VeriSign, that's ticker VRSN, Victor Richard Sam Nancy. EPS estimate is $1.33. The expected move here is 5.49%. Ticker CE, Charlie Edward. Their earnings estimate is $4.42. Expected move here is 6.8%. Robert Half International, that's ticker RHI, Richard Henry India. EPS estimate here is $1.05, 1.05. The expected move here is 7.61%. They're a headhunter, so we'll see how what they come up with when they release their results this afternoon. And Skechers, which is ticker SKX, Sam Kilo X-Ray. Their EPS estimate is 51 cents. Expected move here is 9.6%. And that's what's coming out this afternoon. Then we have Friday morning where we have Honeywell, ticker HON, coming out. Henry Oscar Nancy. The EPS estimate here is $1.87, and the expected move here is 2.76%. American Express, it's ticker AXP, Alpha X-Ray Paul. Their EPS estimate is $1.66. The expected move here is 3.6%. Kimberly-Clark, that's ticker KMB, Kilo Michael Boy. Their EPS estimate is 1.72 cents, and the expected move here is 3.61%. And Schlumberger, that's ticker SLB, Sam Larry Boy. EPS estimate here is for 25 cents, 0.25. The expected move here is 10.9%. That's what I have for the upcoming earnings, Shane.
Well, let's talk about economic reports. Bill, tell us what we're seeing for reports today.
Hey, 8:30, we have jobless claims coming out. This is a weekly figure. This is really a market-moving economic data point. In addition, at 8:30, we have the existing home sales. This is another hot one that the market's going to really be paying attention to. At 8:30, we also have the Chicago Fed National Activity Index. At 10 a.m., we have a report on the leading indicators. And at 11 a.m., we have the Kansas City Fed Manufacturing Index all coming out today.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Didi, ticker DIDI. China is considering serious, perhaps unprecedented penalties for Didi after its controversial IPO offering last month, according to sources on the matter. Regulators are weighing a range of potential punishments, including a fine, suspension of certain operations, or the introduction of a state-owned investor. Also possible is a forced delisting or withdrawal of Didi's U.S. shares, and the stock price today is taking a huge hit from that. In other news, Arvinas, ticker ARVN, and Pfizer, ticker PFE, announced a global collaboration to develop and commercialize ARV-471, an oral treatment for breast cancer prevention. Under terms, Pfizer will pay Arvinas $650 million upfront and make a separate $350 million equity investment in the company. News on Alaska Air, ticker ALK. Alaska Air is growing its mainline and regional fleets by exercising its option to add 13 new Boeing 737 MAX jets to its roster, with deliveries in 2023 and 2024. Elsewhere on the tape, BHP has entered into a nickel supply agreement with Tesla, ticker TSLA, in which BHP will supply Tesla with nickel from its Nickel West asset in Australia. In addition, BHP will be working with Tesla to create ways to make the battery supply chain more sustainable, with a focus on end-to-end raw material traceability. BHP's share price is up 0.34% in pre-market. BHP, and that's ticker BHP, the share price is up 0.34% in pre-market. News on General Motors, ticker GM. The company will reportedly temporarily halt or lower production of its large pickup trucks at some plants in the U.S. and Mexico due to a shortage in the supply of semiconductor chips. Starting next week, GM will reportedly suspend production from its Fort Wayne assembly plant in Idaho and Silo, Mexico assembly plant. Production shifts at the Flint assembly plant in Michigan will also be temporarily lowered. The plants are expected to return to full production capacity in the week of August 2nd. Lastly, for me, one on Hyzon Motors, ticker HYZN. Hyzon has developed new onboard hydrogen storage system technology capable of reducing the weight and manufacturing cost of commercial vehicles powered by Hyzon's hydrogen fuel cells. The storage system would cut costs by 52% for the company. The technology will be implemented in Hyzon's vehicles worldwide, with an additional plan to license the system to other commercial vehicle companies. Hyzon's share price is up 5.8% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific segments. I'm looking for specific industries. I'm looking for specific events. I use keywords, I use news codes, category codes to create these alerts. I have one for my FANG alert that I watch very closely. Okay, looking into my FANG alert this morning, there's a story out there on Dow Jones about the biggest move yet. Following the Biden's executive order, the agency rescinded the 1995 statement that allowed them to, go softer on mergers and acquisitions. The FTC voted to rescind that statement, and now you're looking at more intensely merger review process that's going to be coming back in line. And this is a big setback for the big tech companies. In terms of other headlines, Apple, ticker AAPL, apparently there's severe flooding in central China. Now, this is important because it temporarily cut power to one of the Apple's manufacturing centers, which happens to be their biggest iPhone manufacturing center, ahead of that big push to get these iPhones made and delivered ahead of the fall release. You look at a Tesla, that's ticker TSLA, Tom, Sam, Larry, Apple. They're building a $7 billion factory in Berlin. Word is it's 6 months behind schedule. I do see Tesla shares trading a little higher this morning, so I guess that is a positive. But that factory being behind may cause them a problem when they release earnings on Monday. Amazon, that's ticker AMZN. India's antitrust regulator has accused Amazon of concealing facts and making false submissions when it sought approval in 2019 for investment in a futures group unit. Moving over to my Dow Jones 30 alert, Travelers Group, this is ticker TRV, Tom, Richard, Victor. Bank of America issued a double downgrade on shares of Travelers Group. Their rating went from buy to underweight with a new price target of $161. You're looking at Visa, ticker V as in Victor. It announced that it signed an agreement to acquire Currency Cloud. This is a platform that enables banks to provide foreign exchange solutions for cross-border payments. Walmart's being sued by Crocs, and apparently Crocs is suing Walmart and Hobby Lobby, claiming trademark infringement. In other news, that's affecting Dow stocks, we got to talk about CRM, which is Salesforce.com. Remember last October, they did that $27.7 billion purchase of Slack Technologies. Well, that $27.7 billion purchase closed yesterday. It got all the approval it needed. So, you got to remember, Salesforce is really a competitor to Microsoft. We're going to see this stock continue to move higher. So sales of Salesforce, ticker CRM, this is a big one that they got approval, and they closed on this deal for the purchase of Slack Technologies. Going over to the options market, seeing what headlines are out there and what's making sense. Kimberly-Clark, that's ticker KMB, Kilo Michael Boy. They're releasing earnings tomorrow morning. The weekly option implied volatility is at 41. August, however, is at 22. You compare that to the 52-week range of Kimberly-Clark, and that 52-week range is 15 to 31. So it's at a pretty high vol right now. And their earnings are coming out, tomorrow morning, July 23rd. I noticed a call put ratio of one call to every 1.5 put. And that happened, yesterday morning. Honeywell, that's ticker HON, Henry, Oscar, Nancy. Honeywell is also reporting tomorrow morning. The July weekly option implied volatility is at 41. August is at 22. The 52-week range is 18 to 41. So it's really at the high end of the range. We'll have to see what Honeywell does when they release their earnings tomorrow morning. And Snap, that's ticker SNAP, Sam, Nancy, Apple, Paul. July weekly option implied volatility is at 156. August is at 61. The 52-week range is 44 to 118. So that's a really high volatile stock right now. I did notice yesterday it had a 2.4 call to put ratio. In terms of catalyst events going on, Citibank, they opened up a positive catalyst watch on Quanta Services. That's ticker PWR, Paul William Richard, going into earnings. They have a buy rating on the stock, and they have a price target of 115. In terms of events, I did see that DoorDash, that's ticker DASH, has a 1 o'clock annual shareholders meeting. It's unconfirmed, but I did read that one place. I couldn't get a secondary confirmation on that. Guidance, Kinder Morgan. Kinder Morgan, the company cut its 2021 profit forecast yesterday. This is just 3 months after the pipeline operator raised its estimates following that surge in demand for natural gas during the February winter storm. The company lowered its full year profit forecast to $1.7 billion. It was as much as $2.9 billion it outlined in April. So that's a big negative for ticker KMI. Kilo, Michael, India, Kinder Morgan. But that's what I have for the hot news this morning, Shane.
Moving into our trade talk picks for today, I'm picking Honeywell, ticker HON. Just like Bill had mentioned, it's priced for over a 2.5% move when they release tomorrow morning before the open. And they're a performer. Brokers have raised the price targets on this company lately on the stock. And Goldman came out and said that for the short-term cycle, their industrials has seen the best performance in a decade. So I'm positive on Honeywell, and I think they'll move up into earnings tomorrow morning. That's my pick. I'd also like to say Hyzon Motors, ticker HYZN. It's a low-float stock, but if I had to have a second one, I really like what they're doing with this storage technology, and it's making it so that it's cutting their company's development costs by half. So that's a pretty significant move for them. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm picking ticker SKX, Skechers. Sam Kilo X-Ray. Earnings are out this afternoon. It is priced for a 9.3% move. Last quarter, they delivered a blowout earnings result. They raised guidance, and they think they're coming into double digits. The street is very positive on this stock. Brokers have been raising price targets. I saw a 7-to-1 call to put ratio on it yesterday, so the option volumes look really good. I'm positive on shares of SKX going into earnings this afternoon. So that's my pick for the day, SKX, Sam Kilo X-Ray.
Let's talk about what's hot off the press, the news that's hitting the tape as we speak, moving the markets today. Looking at our headlines, Bill, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Domino's Pizza, ticker DPZ, David Paul Zebra. They announced a 1 billion share repurchasing program. Here's one on MasterCard, ticker MA, Michael Apple. Bank of America's preview of Visa and MasterCard's second quarter prints. They're expecting a sharp Q2 acceleration and for guidance to be in line with their estimates. Here's one on Johnson & Johnson, J&J, John, Nancy, John. The FDA may not fully approve a COVID-19 vaccine until January. Here's one on ticker GLW, Grace Larry Williams. It's interesting. This is Corning. Corning expands Corning's Gorilla Glass composite products to optimize performance on mobile device cameras, ticker GLW.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing today, Shane.
That'll do it for what's hot off the press. Traders, keep in mind you can receive the same stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out and get a free trial today. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Wednesday. I had Costco, ticker COST, which opened at $417.11. Had a pretty flat day, closing at $415.01 for a 0.5% loss. The stock, however, is moving higher this morning already in the $418 realm. So I think that there's still going to be some positivity on the news of what they're doing with Uber. It's just we were a little bit early in the pick. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
Okay, Shay, my pick yesterday was Discover Financial Services. That's ticker DFS, David Frank Sam. The stock opened up yesterday at $123.21. It hit a high of $126.74 and closed at $125.50. 55. This was from the high, you're looking at a 2.87 differential. From the close, you're looking at a 1.9 positive differential. So it was a real positive yesterday for shares of Discover Financial, ticker DFS, another good one.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.